Today's video is going to be a little different. You might ask, what are you going to do to make the video different when your channel only talks about how to find the best way to travel? Well, in the previous video, I shared a little about my depression and how traveling helped me combat that depression. I think it's time to know me a little more and learn about my story. I am originally from Puerto Rico. I was born, raised, and lived in Puerto Rico, an island forgotten by many and ignored by others, an American territory that not everyone knows and many do not care to know. But that is a topic for another video. I came to the United States 11 years ago, and no, I didn't come looking for anything. My life was practically perfect where I lived, but something that no one expected happened. Try to imagine my situation. My father, a strong man, is diagnosed with one of the most lethal and complicated diseases that exist in the world, with an extremely high mortality rate: cancer. My dad receives the news that he has cancer, and like everyone, your first reaction was, what do I have to do to fight it? He did everything he was told, but his health deteriorated over time. At that moment, my battle against depression begins. I did everything possible not to be close to him. I left the house in the morning to work, and after work, I went to party with my friends just to not see my dad suffer. Within all that, my dad never thought about leaving Puerto Rico, although I think he knew what his destiny could be. His wish was that no matter what happened, he didn't want to separate us as a family, and he didn't want to leave his little island. The problem is that in my depression, I made many bad decisions. And one day, leaving a party, my truck was hit 12 times by bullets. Nothing happened to me, but when I got home, my dad was waiting for me, and when he came out, he saw the bullet holes. He decided to come to the United States just to save me. How do I manage to bring us all, including me? Well, he used his illness as an excuse for us all to come. But my plans were not to stay. My plans were that when he got better, I would return to Puerto Rico. To me, his recovery was a possibility. Well, that never happened. On August 14, 2013, my dad lost his battle against cancer. At that moment, I was next to him. And the moment I promised him that I would take care of my mother and my sister, he left. And I saw how life drained from my dad's eyes. That promise made my plans to return fade away. Now, imagine someone who never planned to live in a new country, seeing that he must stay for a promise he cannot break, without the compass to guide him, his father. That's what happened. I also saw how my mother, a strong woman, also entered the world of depression. I saw how the language became a problem since Spanish is main language in Puerto Rico. And although they teach you English, it is something that at least I did not pay attention to, because in the end, in my mind, I didn't need it. I am in a country where I don't know anyone, I don't speak the language, and those who call themselves family don't want me there. The depression increased. I only thought that I didn't want to live what I was living. I felt alone without anyone to listen to me, without anyone to understand me. I began to experience racism, something that does not exist in Puerto Rico in the same magnitude that I saw it here in the United States. I didn't want to live. I really just wanted it all to be over. I had to force myself to become a man because now I was playing the role of dad. And for me, my dad's shoes were too big to fill. One day I started cleaning an apartment I had. And while I cleaned, I drank alcohol and listened to music. As time went by, my mind kept telling me how difficult it was. Loneliness consumed me. Everything was collapsing, and I sat down, looked for my firearm, the one I legally own, and I put it in my head while I continued thinking that life was too unfair when I had done nothing for what was happening to me. When I put my finger on the trigger, I heard a voice that told me, "You know what happens to people who decide to make that decision? You are not alone. Just fight a little more. Put down the firearm and just cry. It's okay to cry. After that, I decided to return to Puerto Rico for vacation, just to turn back time. Just to return to the place where I grew up to imagine my previous life. That trip was what sparked my passion for traveling. Then I traveled everywhere. All of the United States, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and many more. And I understood that that was my passion. The airport rush. Getting off without knowing what the adventures and moments I will live will be. I love it. Why do I make videos on YouTube? I have a job, one of those jobs that calls 9 to 5. So I could not always travel. And I had no other hobby other than that. Yes, I exercise. But besides that, I don't have any other hobbies other than traveling. And the excess of routine made me create this channel. The passion to show the world what traveling can achieve. I do everything from the script, editing, searching for information, everything. And I like it. I think it's the only way I can reach you, people from all over the world. Because even though I've been living here for a long time, I still don't have that many friends. I don't have anyone to talk to about my things. I have no one to open my heart to. And now I feel like I have you all. And although the depression is no longer present and I found happiness, I think people need interaction with other people. And this is my way of making friends, to make a community, to find people who love the same thing as me. Travel. Forgive me if I bored you, but I think that with this video, you can get to know me a little more. For those who made it this far, thank you for listening to me. For those who are subscribed, I really appreciate it a lot. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.